Elisa LaBelle, everyone.
Hello, world. Welcome to the L4 podcast. I'm your host, Elisa LaBelle, the one and only technology comedian. I hope everyone is doing fantastic out there today. That is my hope. I hope you're doing great. And you're doing the laundry, or you're doing driving. You are cleaning up your house, cleaning up your life, or maybe you've done all that already. And now you're just trying to be productive rather than just busy. And that's great. Keep on moving on that track. I want to play an uplifting song. Soundtrack from Wall Street. I've been watching old movies recently. Yeah, because new movies it's hard to find a good new movie with a good storyline. I mean, what happened to the Hitchcocks? Hitchcock, you didn't need some fancy camera work with some fancy dolly, a fancy dolly setup and this fancy camera work and a double gimbal cam. No, you didn't. It's just an amazing story. That's why they were so amazing. Where are these stories? They're just it's like they just get cranked out of a factory now, and there's, come on, streaming platforms, you're letting us down, man. So I'm waiting on that, but in the interim, we got some really great old movies to watch here. You got Wall Street. Great storyline. Great soundtrack. This song is so uplifting. Yeah. Got my jasmine green tea. This makes you just want to move the distal parts of your body to the beat. That is such a fun song. It's just so uplifting. It's great. What else is going on, guys? I had improv class yesterday, and it was great. Love that class. I learned a lesson that, you can't take everything seriously all the time, or you're just not going to get through life. You got to be in the moment. Be focused, but also have some fun. Can't be all about the hitting the mark every time and, putting that stress on your exoskeleton. Don't do that. Just relax, be in the moment. And I flubbed on a game. It was a 2-person game and I completely flubbed. And what I think I felt most terrible about was letting down my partner. I wasn't giving my partner anything to work with, just throwing it all off, throwing the story of what we were doing or the improving just all off, all in all different directions, and that didn't make me feel great. And I'm going to work on that. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better for my classmates and for everybody. I just want to be there for people. I want to show up and I want to be there for people. Just like you guys, my audience. I'm here. This isn't going to be perfect. That's fine. It's okay. But I'm going to try my hardest. So that was a good lesson. Also, yesterday I had to go get some blood work done. Just like the routine blood work. And man, I was driving all around town and go to this place, they can't do this, and then they send you another place. It was just a colossal waste of time. And then I was getting upset at the people who were driving real slow on the roads. that was getting me upset. I get upset at people who are afraid to drive because I don't understand it. But then, it's okay if I don't understand it. That's just how it is. That's just how people, it's like real to that person. So I'm trying to have a little more patience with that. It was very challenging yesterday, though. Very challenging. So I'm parked in this parking lot and I'm walking and I passed someone. He looked like maybe he was from South Asia. And he looked a little down because the lab was at a hospital. So there's all types of people coming in and out. And I'm walking by him and my keys are clinking against my purse because I hook them onto my purse. And so you can hear me. So he looked up and I was in a hurry. I wasn't in a good mood. But I realized, I just saw his eyeballs, they met my eyeballs. And I realized at that point, I had to give him a smile. And he just kind of stood up a little straighter after that, gave me a smile back, a little nod. So sometimes you don't realize how you can help people by just smiling at them. Don't pass people like they're just non-player play, like a video game. You're just passing these things. No, these are real people. Just remember that. Don't be having your head in your phone as you're passing by people. Look people in the eyeballs. People are looking for smiles. They're looking for that human connection. Do you see me? I see you, man. I see you. And here you go. Here's a little gift. Give them a little gift. Just smile. Just brighten up their day. It's important. And it can help a lot. So if you think you're out there, if you're down, just get outside, get yourself out somewhere. Maybe you got to go to the grocery store or somewhere, and wherever you're at, look at someone in the eyeballs and give them a smile. Help someone else. Lift their spirits. It's like a little scaffolding. You just gave them a little scaffolding to lift up that spirit of theirs. Give them a little lift. Maybe that's all they needed. Just that little gravity assist to get them orbiting again and working again. To get to whatever other place they were going. So I think that's important. That was a lesson that I had to re-teach myself yesterday. And that's a good one. That's a good lesson to reteach yourself. Keep yourself in check, The world does feel a little weird now, though. When I was out there, it feels a little weird. Like I went, I think it's just, I think we got a shortage of workers. The hospital, there was a 2-hour wait for blood work. That's insane. There's just a shortage. I think there's a shortage of workers in the world. And so then it feels a little weird. It feels a little chaotic, a little robotic, a little like no one cares about your time. And that's how a lot of people are feeling, I think. Or, I'll go into the UPS store and my buddy over there, he sees me a lot because, I'm a woman who makes Amazon returns frequently. That's what women do. The back of our cars is just Amazon. It's just an Amazon return center back there. That's what you're going to find in the back of a woman's car, most likely. So I go to UPS and the owner, "Hey, Lisa, what's up?" "What's up?" What's up? Let's smile at each other. At least you looking for a job. I need a worker. Someone I can trust. What do? Can you come work here? And all I was doing was I was just coming in, dropping off, returning an Amazon package, and now I'm the UPS manager. That's what's going on out there. I'm present in this world. I know that things aren't perfect. Things are a little tangled up, a little out of sorts. Just like my backyard right now. But I do try to find the silliness in it. And that's what I'm here for. And I hope that's what you're here for too. We're going to do that together. I'm thinking, man, it'd be great. It'd be great to maybe buy a sports car. But we don't know what's going on with these tariffs, and we'll see. We'll see. Like, can I pay for it in T-bills? Is that an option? Or, when can you pay for things in Bitcoin? What's Satoshi up to? What's he doing? Creating that Bitcoin. Who is this guy? There's a gallon Ziploc bag on the kitchen island. Yeah, I'm thinking about that because I always think about food. I'm usually always hungry. Yeah, I'll eat, but I want more. So then I think about the kitchen, and that's what brought me here. That's what we're talking about, this gallon Ziploc baggie. It is sitting on the kitchen island, and it's been there probably for about a week. And no one is taking ownership of this. It's, I live with my husband and my cat, and no one's taking responsibility for the bag. So what happens is when you're using the counter, it just gets pushed over. So it started at one end of the kitchen counter and it went all the way to the other end, and now it's making its way back to the end that it started at. It's doing a 360. Our kitchen cabinets are looking at us like, are these people going to get their shite together? Are they ever going to, what are they doing? What are they doing with that bag? The kitchen cabinets are just sick of seeing it. At this point, just getting pushed around the island. So we'll see where it's going to end up. Not sure yet. There is an African giant pouched rat out there sniffing out tuberculosis. It's sniffing out some landmines. That's what these rats. There's these giant African pouch rats. They're big ol', and I never thought I'd say this, but these things are super cute. And then they go and they put little vests on them. And they hook them up to a system of strings. It's like they put the vest on and then they hook them up. They put a line on them and they hook them up to this string, and then they go up and down the aisles that is created, the string structure, and they're sniffing out landmines. They are light enough that they will not set them off. Isn't that? And then, so I think about that. There's a charity, an organization called Hero Rats. And these rats have saved a lot of people, a lot of children, a lot of families from stepping on these landmines that have been there for years and years and years from past wars, and they've never been removed. But the indigenous people, they want to farm their land, and they can't because they're afraid there's a landmine there. So these rats, they go and they sniff them out. And also tuberculosis. They'll go sniff out some tuberculosis. And they help people so that it doesn't spread. So there's these rats out there. Over there, they're working their little tails off. They're happy. They have this job. They get well fed. I mean, I'm over here looking at a Ziploc baggie on my kitchen island. What am I doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? I've been thinking about, there's a memorial that just went up in our town. It's a veterans memorial. I've been thinking about veterans a lot lately. There's a song that my dad introduced me to a long time ago. And gosh, I love these old songs. I really like them. It's called Where Have All the Flowers Gone? I think Pete Seeger, did I say that? I probably didn't say that right. I think he was the original. And then the trio, Kingston Trio did it. And I think they redid the song, and I think that's when it got real popular. And then, of course, Peter, Paul, and Mary did the song. Did I say that right? Okay, I think so. But yeah, it's a fantastic song.
Long time passing, where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago, where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them,
Everyone.
when will they ever learn?
When
Will they ever learn?
I mean, man, it just makes me think. I've been thinking about that because I think about, my grandfathers, both of them were in World War II. And that's the rough wars. The wars before that were rough. Wars after that, war just was really terrible. So, hey, thank you to all you veterans out there. Anyone who served for our country, thank you. It's not as celebrated as I think as it once was. Like a World War II veteran was very celebrated. People were highly admired. And then Vietnam came along, or the Korean War, and man, that was a rough one. That was a rough one. People didn't agree with that war. So then the people who were fighting in it, they didn't get the respect that they really should have. And gosh, my heart goes out to them. My uncle, he was a Vietnam vet. And he has since passed. I believe he got Agent Orange. But it's in these people, that's what they did. They did that for our freedom, so we didn't have to. And man, that's special. So let's just take a little moment and say thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, current veterans. Thank you, current people who are in the military now. Thank you. I respect that a lot. What else is going on, guys? Plumbing. Man, I told you about this pipe that popped in the back of our yard. It didn't pop. It just the round rubber thing. The seal, I guess, it eroded. So it was going everywhere. But also, We have a plumbing issue inside too. So I had to call the plumber. And then so I call the plumber, I make the appointment. And then the scheduler says, "Hey, listen. I got to read you these terms and conditions. So are you ready to read these terms and conditions of the appointment? And you have to verbally agree to them." And I said, "You know what? Fire away." And gosh, he's kind of talking and I'm doing something while he's talking. And so he's done. And I said, "Well, what did I agree to? What am I agreeing to?" And, you know, if you have a plumbing problem, especially with a toilet, I mean, any kind of flooding, anything inside, but really like a toilet or a shower probably, but especially a toilet. I think people would agree to a lot of things, probably more than what you're agreeing to on your Apple terms, the iPhone. You know, I think people would probably agree if they said, "Hey, we need to have your Netflix subscription for a month." It's like, sure, go ahead, just fix my toilet, man. Come on. I need you to get over here today and fix the toilet. I don't want to be looking at this thing. It's broke. It's sick. Get it fixed. I will give you can have a party in my backyard the entire summer if you want. I mean, people would agree. They would agree to a lot of things like that. Like, "Hey, you want to borrow my blazer? You can borrow my blazer. You can come into my kitchen and use my spatulas and my stove. Go ahead. I don't care. Just fix the toilet, man." You know, so, people would do just about anything, I think, to get their plumbing sorted out. That could be, that's an issue. Their plumbing or their heating and air conditioning. Man, now we're talking like for like a whole paycheck, probably. "Hey, we got to take your whole paycheck." Sure, come on. Sure. Just fix the freaking thing. Fix the tubes. It was when I was driving yesterday, the windshield, it's like that time where the windshield fogs up and then you don't know to put the heater, the AC on. It's not real cold, but it's not real hot. And then your windshield's fogging up. And you're just trying to deal with sorting that out. And it's like, I'll ask ChatGPT, but you can't do it in the moment. And then you get home and you're just busy with other stuff. So then you're just experimenting there in the car, like a scientist, but you're not really figuring it out. And then but then it just goes away and it gets sorted out, or sometimes it doesn't get sorted out, and then you're just left really agitated and unable to see on the road. That's where we're at. Tis the season. There's a lot going on in the tech space. There is a lot going on. I was looking here at, I'm interested in space exploration and, getting on up to Mars. That there's going to be a lot of challenges with that, of course, but I think the biggest challenge is food, because humans need food. I really do think we need to bring TARS to Mars. TARS from Chris Nolan's movie, Interstellar. So TARS must go to Mars. And then also, what are we going to do? Because the problem with Martian soil, Martian regolith, is that it's completely toxic to human beings. And also it's basically the outer layer of Mars is basically rusted out. Just a bunch of rust. It's got that reddish color, like that rusty color anyway. And I think it's because the core cooled before the iron could settle completely. So then it kind of stayed on the surface. And because of the no atmosphere, basically, and the solar winds and the radiation is just kind of rusted on up all up. There's a lot of tetanus up there. So, first and foremost, you got to have your tetanus shot going up there. What kind of tetanus are we talking about? Is our tetanus shot gonna suffice? I guess we'll find out. When people start getting some lockjaw up there, be like, I don't think our tetanus shot is gonna, I don't think it's doing the thing it needs to do up there. Is it the same tetanus? So that's a whole other thing, but I don't think that will be as hard of a issue to figure out as growing food on the Martian soil. Because what are we going to have? We're going to have to just bring everything on up there with us the first time around. It's going to be wild. Got to bring soil and... our soil is, it's just been like years and years and years of fossil, like dead plants and things and organic matter just kind of breaking down. And that's why we're able to grow things. The sun and everything and all of those factors that Earth has to grow life. But speaking of the soil, Mars soil, it has a lot of perchlorates. It's basically it's basically like a toxic salt that is left over from all of the radiation and the solar winds. Perchlorates. Now you can find perchlorates on Earth. There's a desert. There's a desert out here on Earth called the Atacama Desert. It's in northern Chile, along the west coast of South America. It stretches from just south of Peru border down into central Chile, nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the Andes Mountains. It's one of the driest places on Earth. Some parts haven't seen rain in centuries. The extreme dryness and UV exposure make it one of the best Mars analogs on Earth. So it's kind of Mars-like. So NASA and also the European Space Agency, they often test rovers and instruments and even life detection tech there because it's about as Mars-like as you can get without leaving Earth. Apparently, I think the director of NASA, or Bill Nelson, is it Bill Nelson? He said it's super expensive to try to get a sample of Martian soil back to Earth. It's just super expensive. And so until we can find a way to do that economically, we gotta get a little creative. Little improv skills, creativity in the science lab. It's being in that science lab is a lot of creative work, really, in a way. So what we're doing here, these perchlorates, they're very toxic and they're very abundant on Mars. For reference, overall Mars surface has perchlorate concentrations of 0.5% by weight. On Earth, the concentration is often a millionth that amount. Hydroponics. We do hydroponics, sure. Hydroponics can only really feed about a group of probably up to 10 people. Hydroponics are very hard to scale because of it's a closed loop system. So if fungus grows in there or anything else, mold or whatever, the whole entire crop is gone. You got to start over. It's not going to work. You got to figure out how to get those perchlorates out of that Martian soil, which it can be done. You can get it out of soil here on Earth, but it just takes a lot of water. It takes a lot of resources. But we're working on it. The science laboratory at Arizona State University's Biodesign Institute, Miss Anzer Delgado, a microbiologist who works there. She's been working on this. Getting little microorganisms to eat those perchlorates. That's interesting. Microorganisms called, here we go, guys. Let me, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to try to pronounce it. Dihalakakakides. Mukadi. Specifically feeds on organic chlorinated solvents and spits out dechlorinated ethane, a simple non-toxic hydrocarbon, and harmless chloride ions which are found naturally in the environment. So that's what she is working on. Having these little microorganisms, they might be the trick. You just put those all out there and they'll eat it on up. And the really interesting thing about this is, for the first time, you can actually form soil organic matter with microorganisms alone. You don't need decaying plants. How amazing is, that's just mind blowing. I have no words. Wow. Someone figured that out and they're doing it. Some plants, woody plants like willow and cottonwood, draw perchlorates out of the soil and can be harvested before the cycle starts again. That's another option, but that takes a lot of resources. You got to be on top of it, because if you don't get them before the cycle starts again, they're just going to go back into the cycle. So I think this microorganism thing, the microorganism thing is going to work out just fine. The microbes themselves and their tissues and excretions could synthesize soil. How does one get perchlorates? Why is Mars so full of perchlorates, one might ask? UV radiation from the sun hits the Martian soil. There's no ozone layer to block it. The radiation breaks down chlorine-bearing minerals and produce perchlorates. Mars also has dust storms that redistribute it all over the place. And it is toxic to humans, particularly to the thyroid. They disrupt iodine uptake, so long-term exposure can cause developmental and neurological issues. So essentially, a death to the mitochondria. So we got to figure that out before we get on up there to Mars. We're going to need some strong spirits going up there. Some optimistic peeps. Yeah, we're going to need some Sacagaweas. We're going to need frontier people who explore the frontier with no thought of, they're just not scared. Sacagaweas and some Jean-Baptiste. That was her son. Sacagawea. Yeah, so let's get that warrior attitude. You know, Sacagawea had a kid. She popped out John Baptiste, and then off she was with Lewis and Clark. Boom, like almost right away. That's incredible. I would like to see what her hormone levels were like. Her estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. I would like that. in my body because that is some strong stuff. That's what it's going to take. In the tech world, there's a lot going on this week. I feel there's always a lot going on, but there's really just a lot rolled out this week. So let's get into that. Amazon rolled out Nova Act, and it's an advanced AI agent. Amazon AGI Labs has recently introduced Nova Act, advanced AI agent system designed to perform tasks within web browsers such as making purchases, scheduling appointments, and navigating websites. It's an AI agent designed to interact with websites like a human would using a browser. That means it can do things like navigate to a calendar site, Google or Outlook, pick a time that works for everyone, send out invites, or it can open a delivery service like DoorDash or Grubhub, place an order, and set it for delivery at a certain time and place. And then you can have your humanoid go get the delivery and place it all out on the table. But don't worry, assistants out there, all of you assistants. Don't worry just yet, because it's just not there yet. It's the beginning of what it might become, which is probably going to be something pretty fantastic, but it's just not quite there yet. I mean, it's like the new assistant that you hired, and she found some of her grandfather's Quaaludes. And she decided to take some of those and then go into work that day. And then you have to hold her hand for everything she does. You got to tell her, hey, we got to order some food. What food you got to tell her everything. Whereas an assistant now, they know things. They know Bob hates mayo. They know that Cindy will only eat at the Schwanky place up the road. Jessica likes sparkling water. Gary won't touch anything unless it's from that other Thai place. So so your assistant now is probably going to just say to you, hey, Frankie, you want me to handle that luncheon again for like Friday, just like I did it last Friday? It's like, yeah. So then she just puts everything together, and that's all you had to do is just answer, yeah, as the boss, yeah. So it's an AI assistant. This Amazon Nova Act is not quite there at Shannon's level yet. Shannon is the assistant. She's the executive assistant. It's not there yet. So don't worry. The only accent I can really do, it's like a 1940s chain smoking secretary accent from Brooklyn. Peggy Sue. What you calling for again? You just called last week. What you want? Cindy said that you need the paperwork for your taxes. I sent them in the mail. What'd you lose them again, Peggy Sue? And then maybe a English woman from the 1940s who is offering up a remedy for the flu. Like, oh, well, you take a hot Jolly Rum Punch. That took me a little while to get there. I'd suggest a hot Jolly Rum Punch for your code. A hot Jolly Rum Punch. It's not quite there yet. It's not there at all, I don't think. It's pretty terrible. Well, I like some edible knickers. Edible knickers that taste like cherry. I don't think those edible knickers will cover all my bits and pieces, but you can deliver them over there to Pemberton Place. And I will pick up my edible knickers. Cherry flavored. And have a jolly good hot rum punch. That's about as far as it goes from there. Amazon Novak, that's what we are talking about. Just in case you got off track with me. So I'll put us back on the track. We're back on the track now. Nova Act represents a significant advancement in AI agent technology, positioning Amazon as a key player in the competitive landscape of AI-driven automation tools. All right. Then we got over here Sanctuary AI. It's a Vancouver-based robotics company. Out there in the coves, freezing their tatas off, freezing their metal humanoid digits off. Cold up in that bichon. This company, Sanctuary AI, was founded in 2018, a robotics and artificial intelligence company focused on developing general-purpose humanoid robots to address labor challenges across various industries. Their flagship robot's name is Phoenix, designed to perform a wide range of tasks autonomously or under remote supervision. Put a big old hand on this Phoenix. It's a big old hand. And it's textured. It looks like it can wrap its hand around a gooseneck. Pop this video up called the Goose Grabber. It's not wrapping its hand around a gooseneck in the video, but it sure can do that. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that Phoenix can do that. And then it's opening its hands are grippy. It's opening a hypodermic needle. It's about to inject itself with some hydraulic juice. I think its hands are hydraulic. It needs some juicing up. It's juicing up over there. I don't know if that's legal, juicing up, but it looks happy, so. I mean, it doesn't really look like anything. It doesn't have really an expression, but it's doing stuff. The Phoenix. A lot of things are called Phoenix. Phoenix, a mythical bird. A beautiful mythical bird. Famous for its cycle of death and rebirth. When it dies, it bursts into flames and is reborn again from its own ashes. So that's Phoenix. So its name is Phoenix. It doesn't look like a bird, but maybe there's some meaning to this, some deeper meaning. Sanctuary AI has integrated tactile sensor technology into Phoenix, enhancing its dexterity and enabling it to perform tasks requiring fine motor skills. It holds a substantial intellectual property portfolio in humanoid robotics, ranking third globally, according to Morgan Stanley's research division. Phoenix is powered by Carbon, an AI control system that enables human-like intelligence and behavior. So we have this Phoenix by Sanctuary AI and Figure. There's also some big news on Figure. It's officially deployed. The Figure humanoid robots from Figure One is officially deployed in the Spartanburg plant, BMW, South Carolina. Now, Figure uses Helix. It's a Helix AI. It's a Figure's proprietary vision language action model. So it's not a large language model. Helix is specialized AI model designed to enable humanoid robots to understand and act in the physical world by combining vision, language, and action control. So we got Helix. So Figure is powered by Helix, and we have Phoenix powered by Carbon. So what is the diff? What's the difference? I know everyone's asking that question right now, so let me help you out with that. Let me break it down. Carbon. Its main focus is logic and cognitive modeling. Inspired by how the brain works, structured modular cognitive subsystems, memory, perception, reasoning. If you heard that bang, that was the cardboard falling off of one of the windows. I put cardboard on the window to block out the natural light because natural light isn't really great for podcasting. And the cardboard fell out. So that happened last week and it happened again this week. I'll do something about it. I'll get there, guys. I'll get there. We're talking about Carbon. It's inspired by how the human brain works. Helix, Figure AI. It's a deep learning based vision language action built on large language model style architecture. Carbon. How does it solve problems? Well, it uses predefined logic, symbolic reasoning, and possibly some hybrid learning. It's built to generalize like a human would, not just repeat patterns from data. Helix. Helix learns from huge data sets of vision. So not just, and it's not predefined logic like Carbon. Helix is learned from huge data sets of vision, language, and action. It tries to predict the best next action given what it sees and hears. Example of Carbon. If you tell Felix Robot to clean up the table, Carbon will use vision to recognize objects, understand the task, plan steps, and complete it even in a novel setting. Just like a new employee would reason through a task on their first day. Now, Helix, you say to Figure, hey, put the red cup on the shelf, and Helix parses the sentence, finds the cup with vision, plans a motion trajectory, and does it, all based on learned patterns. Data reliance of Carbon, less dependent on massive training data, more about structured problem solving and real-time adaptability. Helix, data reliance is very high. Helix improves through fine-tuning, reinforcement learning, and exposure to tons of scenarios. Carbon feels like a robot that thinks before it acts. Logical, almost like a human apprentice. Helix feels like a robot that feels its way through tasks. Reactive, data-driven, and great at mimicking demonstrations. So now, human beings come to mind when I think of these two different learning models. I think some human beings think things out differently than other human beings. Some human beings they're gonna parse the sentence out. They're gonna find the cup with vision and plan motion trajectory when finding a cup. Or some human brains, when they're told clean up a table, they're gonna recognize the object, understand the task, plan the steps, and complete it. These are just different brain structures, really, different learning structures, and that's kind of how humans work as well. Be like, we all know the Carbon guy. Like, we all know a human who thinks like the Carbon. The Carbon AI. We all know the human that thinks like the Helix AI. They're feeling their way through tasks. Like a raccoon, just kind of, raccoons, they have their little paws like this, and then they just kind of feel everything, and their heads are up, and they're just kind of like down with their paws, and they're just feeling things before they bring it up to their mouth. That's Helix. That's Helix for you. Phoenix carbon it's looking at the things. It's taking its head and it's looking at the things. It's identifying the objects. Whereas Helix figure is the raccoon. It's looking straight ahead and it's feeling its way through the objects. Helix leans on experience, data. Carbon leans on understanding, logic, and structure. One is closer to a toddler learning by watching. The other, like a trained adult reasoning through a new job. Sanctuary AI has a team of approximately 171 employees. That's not a lot, guys. It continues to advance its mission of creating human-like intelligence in robots to work safely and efficiently alongside humans. So that's a pretty lucrative company, I do believe, and with not a lot of people. Keeping overhead low, keeping the pockets big. Fill them up. Fill those pockets up, Buttercup. It's like Max Tegmark's book, Life 3.0. I believe that's what it's called. Bear with me. Yeah, Life 3.0. That's Mark Tegmark. Again, again with the last names and the pronouncing the last names. It's Max Tegmark. Apologies. Life 3.0. He talks about how AI will enable companies to make billions or trillions of dollars with low overhead. There's an AI in that book named Prometheus, and I think there's only 2 employees that work there, and they are just raking it in. And that's going to be the future. That's how it's going to be, man. I don't know what else to say about it. I think that the AI revolution in robotics is going to help people. I'm optimistic, but it's also, there's bad things with good things, and you got to take the good with the bad or the bad with the good, or, vice versa. But yeah, it's going to be wild. Here we go. We're all on this new roller coaster together. Woo woo. Bring it on. Cha-cho. OpenAI, it's got $40 billion in funding recently. OpenAI secured the $40 billion funding round on March 31st, 2025, as announced on CNBC. That's so SoftBank led the funding round with a contribution of $30 BB. This makes SoftBank the primary investor in this deal. I think $18 billion of that goes to Stargate, the Stargate project. Microsoft participated as part of the syndicate of investors, but did not lead the round. Microsoft is noted as a core investor and an earlier backer of OpenAI, but the exact amount they contributed in this specific round isn't specified in the provided data. The remaining $10 billion comes from a syndicate that included Coatue, Altimeter, and Thrive, all of whom are also earlier backers of OpenAI. The specific contributions from each of these investors are not detailed in the sources. So that's a big announcement. So we'll be seeing some interesting things coming out of OpenAI. I hope so, man. You got $40 billion. Come on. Let's go. Use it. Do something good with it, Sam. Want to see that Koenigsegg Regera? Think we got a second one on the way. Tariffs? What tariffs? Ordering that puppy up. That's what I'm saying. Hey, I'm not throwing shade. I think Koenigsegg Regeras are pretty amazing. I've never seen one. I mean, in person, but I'd like to one. I'd like to sit in one. That's for sure. I think that's a fun car. I think that's fantastic. Keep them in business, man. That's how they're going to stay around. So, as I mentioned before, Figure is officially deployed in the BMW Spartanburg plant in South Carolina. Figure's over there using its Helix AI, the vision language action model. So that's an interesting development we got over there. Let's see. I do believe that Figure uses, NVIDIA. NVIDIA GPU-driven prototype called Figure 01 in its Spartanburg County, South Carolina factory, indicating that even the earlier Figure 1 model used NVIDIA GPUs. Figure is partnered with NVIDIA using NVIDIA's Isaac Sim. That's sim to real. Simulation to reality. It's built on NVIDIA's Omniverse for simulation and training, and NVIDIA H100 GPUs for training generative AI models. This partnership extends to the hardware level with NVIDIA GPUs embedded in the robots themselves. They got those robots are walking around with some hardware. They got some fancy hardware on them. Well, they got some, we're talking diamond level. After those puppies are worth a lot. It's going to be like the, the catalytic converters. People be taking those GPUs out of those humanoids. Be walking around. Like the catalytic converters, people be taking those all off everywhere. Try to sell those puppies for the material. Hopefully there's no GPU catalytic converter people. So Figure uses NVIDIA GPUs in its robots. Specifically, Figure 2 robots are equipped with dual NVIDIA RTX GPUs for onboard computation. That NVIDIA RTX GPU. Figure's like, look at my hardware. It's like sporting its fancy hardware. I got this from NVIDIA. Where'd you get yours? This enables the high-performance interference needed for autonomous tasks like those performed at BMW's Spartanburg plant. This is supported by NVIDIA's Jetson platform for edge computing, and their broader partnership with Figure for training and simulation using NVIDIA's Omniverse and H100 GPUs. I'll pop that video up as I was talking about, but I'll show that video when I was talking about that video. For those of you who can't see, it's a video of Figure 1 working at BMW's factory autonomously. And it's pretty incredible. So I pulled that video up here of Figure, Brett Adcock. He posted this video on X and I believe on LinkedIn as well. But it's a Figure. It's walking about a machine. It has some materials or products, and it's putting things where the things are supposed to go. It's in a BMW factory. It's got like pieces of metal parts and whatever parts of the BMW, and it's taking them and then it puts them over to another area, and I mean, it's just kind of walking around there autonomously. It must be really, really interesting to walk into a factory and just see these humanoids walking around. You're like, yo, what's up? And they don't answer you because they're not designed to really talk to anyone. So that's kind of eerie. But maybe in the future I'm sure they'll be able to communicate, but maybe you, as a factory owner, you're not going to want to pay for that part of the humanoid. You just want to pay for the humanoid that works and doesn't talk. So I think that's how it's going to be. But it is pretty fantastic. It's pretty incredible, the abilities of these humanoids and that what Figure is doing in such a short amount of time. I started following Brett Figure One little less than 2 years ago, and this company has advanced leaps and bounds. What else is going on, guys? I've been reading, another reason why I've been thinking about war veterans and war is I've been reading this book. It's really interesting. I am just glued to it. It's called A Leap in the Dark. A Leap in the Dark. I believe I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts. The Struggle to Create the American Republic by John Ferling. And right now, what I'm reading about is George Washington, and reading a little bit about Benjamin Franklin. And I mean, gosh, it's pretty mind blowing to think that the Constitution or Declaration of Independence, it may have never came about. There was a lot of things that could have happened. I mean, we're talking, people just kind of died back then. Benjamin Franklin, he was, I think, over the age of 50 at that point. I mean, people didn't really live long. There's just a lot of things going on. And things happen, and even the person who backed it financially, I mean, something could have happened to him. It would have never came about. Maybe it would have came about, but maybe it would have came about in a different way, but maybe not. Maybe there's just a small window of time for it to happen. And if it didn't happen in that window, it wasn't going to happen at all. It's just wild to think about. So I just been glued to that book. And also right here, I'm reading A Movable Feast. That's by Ernest Hemingway. Born in Oak Park, Illinois in 1899. He served in the Red Cross during World War I. That was a brutal war. World War I as a ambulance driver and was severely wounded in Italy. He moved to Paris in 1921, devoted himself to writing fiction, and soon became part of the expatriate community, along with Gertrude Stein, F. Scott Fitzgerald, one of my favorites, Ezra Pond, and Ford Maddox Ford. He revolutionized American writing with his short declarative sentences and terse prose. So this is a fun read. All right, on that, I'm gonna sign off. Gonna sign off with you guys today. I hope that you have arrested and wonderful rest of your week and day. And get out there and give a smile to someone in the grocery store. even if you're in a hurry. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.